Have you noticed your money doesn't buy as much as it used to? That's inflation at work, quietly changing the value of what's in your wallet, even if you haven't noticed it happening day by day. Imagine prices as a balloon slowly inflating. Each year, your money's power shrinks a bit, and the things you buy start to cost more, even if you're buying the exact same items. Last year, $1 bought you a big ice cream cone, maybe with sprinkles and a cherry on top. This year, you need a few extra pennies for the same treat, or you might get a smaller scoop for the same price. That's inflation in action, making your money stretch less far. Inflation means your money buys less over time, whether you're shopping for groceries, saving for a toy, or planning a family outing. Sometimes it's slow and barely noticeable, like a plant growing quietly in the background, taking months or years before you really see the difference. Other times, prices jump quickly and everyone feels it at once, at the store, at the gas pump, or when paying bills. In short, inflation is when prices rise and your money's value falls, making it harder to afford the things you need or want. It affects everyone, from the Prime Minister making big decisions to the postman picking up groceries after work. No one is immune. Understanding inflation helps you make smarter choices with your money, whether you're saving, spending, or planning for the future. So let's dig deeper to find out why inflation happens, how it shapes our daily lives, and what we can do to stay ahead of it. So, why do prices rise? It's a question that puzzles shoppers, bakers, and business owners alike. Every time you visit the store and see a higher price tag, you might wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. It's not just shopkeepers being greedy or trying to make a quick buck. There are actually several reasons why prices can go up, and most of them are out of any one person's control. Sometimes everyone wants the same thing, like a delicious freshly baked pie. When demand is high and supply is low, prices go up. That's called demand-pull inflation. It's like a tug of war, with lots of people pulling for the same treat, but only a few are available. Other times, it simply costs more to make things. If the price of flour, sugar, or electricity rises, bakers have to pay more just to keep their ovens running. To stay in business, they must charge customers more for each pie. That's cost-push inflation, and it can affect everything from bread to bus rides. If the government prints more money, people suddenly feel richer and start spending more. But with more money chasing the same number of pies, shops raise prices to keep up. Soon, your extra cash doesn't buy any more than before, and everything just costs more. When people expect prices to rise, they ask for higher wages to keep up. Businesses pay more, so they raise prices again, a cycle that keeps spinning, making it hard to stop inflation once it gets going. Inflation is like a merry-go-round of rising costs and prices, spinning faster and faster if no one slows it down. It's tricky to control, but understanding these causes helps us see the bigger picture. Economists and governments work hard to keep inflation in check, so prices don't spiral out of control. Whether it's pies, petrol, or paychecks, inflation touches everything we buy and sell. It affects our daily lives, from the cost of groceries to the value of our savings. The key is to keep the balance steady, enough inflation to keep the economy moving, but not so much that things get out of hand. Too much inflation, and things get out of hand. Prices soar, money loses value, and it becomes hard to plan for the future. Too little, and the economy can stall, with businesses struggling and people buying less. That's why understanding inflation is so important for everyone. Let's take a stroll down a bustling claymation high street, where every shop and every shopper is made of colorful clay. Here, we can watch inflation in action as prices in shop windows change right before our eyes, and shopkeepers adjust price tags to keep up. At the grocery store, you'll notice milk costs more than it did last week. That's because farmers and delivery drivers are paying higher prices for things like animal feed and fuel, so they have to charge more for their milk. Over at the petrol station, prices are climbing too. Global events, supply shortages, and high demand all push fuel prices up, making it more expensive to fill your tank. Thinking about buying a house? When inflation rises, banks often increase interest rates to try to slow things down, which means loans and mortgages become pricier for everyone. This makes people think twice about making big purchases, like cars or new appliances, and encourages saving instead. When more people save, it can help cool off the economy a bit. In the toy shop, a hot new toy is flying off the shelves. Because everyone wants it, the price shoots up. A perfect example of demand-pull inflation. where popularity drives prices higher. But not every item's price rises at the same pace. Some things, like basic groceries or certain services, might stay steady for a while, even as others get more expensive. All these changes can make budgeting tricky. Shoppers might find their money doesn't stretch as far, and it can be confusing to keep track of what's going up and what's not. Inflation is like a chain reaction. When one price goes up, it can set off a domino effect, impacting other goods and services throughout the economy. That's why understanding inflation is important for everyone, from families planning their budgets to students learning about the world around them. Inflation touches everyone, but some feel it more. For families on tight budgets, rising prices mean tough choices, less money for fun, more stress at the checkout. Retirees with savings see their money buy less each year, making careful planning essential. On the flip side, people with loans may find it easier to repay debt as money loses value. Businesses face rising costs and uncertainty, making it hard to plan or invest. Inflation creates a wobbly economy, like building a card tower on a shaky table. Everyone has to think ahead and adapt. It's not just about numbers, it's about real lives and daily decisions. That's why keeping inflation in check is so important. So, how do we tame inflation? Central banks, like the Federal Reserve, raise interest rates to slow spending and cool prices, but raise them too much, and the economy can stall, so it's a careful balancing act. Governments can help by supporting businesses and being smart with their own spending. For us, the best defense is being smart with our money. Make a budget, track your spending, and look for ways to save. Even small savings add up and help cushion against rising prices. Inflation is a challenge, but understanding it gives you power. With the right tools, you can make your money go further, and that's a cracking way to stay ahead.